Alright, game 5 of Plains Day 4, G2 against Ascension Gaming. We see a Pike, Spicy, we see an Aatrox, we see an Urgot, a Kaizen, and Alistair. I don't think that you should get all 3 champions ever. I think those 3 champions together, I think that's just too much in my opinion. Like, they at least denied Iola from Jankos, which is a comfort for Jankos, but no, no, no. Don't do this. Don't give Kai'Sa Alistair. We got to get Vayne, Pike. No, no, no. Syndra and Talia. Talia gets countered by Olaf, kinda, but you still get the strong pick if you consider that a strong pick. I think you could just pick any jungler at that point. Once you have Alistair, Kai'Sa, and Urgot, you're good to go, honestly. Ascension, please don't do this to me. I hope they win in 20 minutes. Ascension. Yeah, mate. Okay. Nothing spicy level 1. I really want to see the group stage already because I think group stage teams like Fnatic, we traditionally have seen Fnatic do a lot of crazy level 1s. We have seen RNG do some level 1s, and some of team Flash Wolves, definitely Flash Wolves do the crazy level 1s, the really smart ones, really aggressive ones. And here we're not seeing much. No one wants to risk it, or I don't know what's going on, but I think that you should look to do level 1. Maybe that's not the meta anymore. I'm totally wrong, but I think that doing level 1s gives you a really good edge. This kind of interesting jungle paddings, lake invading. So the only one who we saw that did that was Ranger from Kaboom against Detonation Focus Me the first time around they played. So yeah, junglers, all of the Red Raptors or Raptors Red, I didn't really see. Now we're seeing Talia doing red, Wolves probably blue Gromp, and then the Crab. Talias always do this pathing of, or they used to do this where they move between 2 lanes a lot just to secure 2 crafts and like to deny buffs and things like this, and efficiency because of the way the red and blue time that you want to have them on your champion for certain camps. I want to have my blue buff for these 2 camps that are left, things like this. Um, it used to be really weird. Now we see something more linear. We see the red, wolves, blue, and craft. So you're basically walking in a lane. He's probably transitioning that into like the rest of the camps, which is more organic. You really want to like just walk in a straight line as you're jungling, so that you are the most efficient with your pattern. Now we're seeing the enemy golems. Basically, he's done like 4 camps, and all of them has been coming across through too. So really good, and he can mix this up with a dive top, and he's not losing many camps. He has 2 camps bought, but those are he's probably only losing Raptors. He's going to dive top. So looking for Wonder here, and that's good because if even if he didn't gank, even if he didn't dove, he already secured a really strong early game from Wonder. Wonder was already up CS when Jankos was there, but the fact that his jungler ended up on that side really opens up for you to play more aggro. This perhaps Wonder had that lead already because Wonder was just playing really aggressive in the face of Rocky, and that's how he got the CS lead, and he was enabled by the jungle pathing from Jankos. What you lose from that is tempo. So Lyle will have some tempo on the map, some time to do things like this. He can be like he doesn't have more camps left to do, so that it's leaving Jankos basically occupied when he's going to do like golems after this. So Jankos is kind of occupied while Lyot isn't. So Lyot already recalled. Lyot is already on the map. So really dangerous what Jankos tried there because he knows that he got lucky to live. Honestly, like um not lucky, but you know what I'm trying to say. Jankos shouldn't be there. He knows that Lyot used his time to recall after he had done his 6 camps that he did, and Jankos hasn't recalled yet. So really, that he hasn't recalled, but after helping top and doing the grump and all these things, but he secured his side. To be fair with him, so he secured his entire jungle. So he did the 7 camps that he is supposed to do. So about 6 camps plus the crabs, so that makes 7, and he also helped up. So He also didn't die to the Olaf. He got the Olaf flash. So overall, really good. What else can I say? Now we've seen interesting that G4 is playing Kassadin. I didn't mention that, but yeah, really interesting composition. The Kassadin Bane, we are going to scale composition. We do not have CC in our comp whatsoever. We only have Pike, and that's not reliable CC. Let me tell you. You can say the same thing about Aatrox. He has CC, but you know what I'm trying to say. They don't have engage. They don't have initiation. They have CC, but they do not have initiation. So Olaf felt comfortable or confident going there because he has the Pike from base, Pike roam from base. Really good champion for roaming. If you play Pike, good for you. Look for roams. Really good champion, really fun champion. But they did not have numbers advantage at all there. Because G4 was still at lane and Perks came to help out Jankos. That's the main difference. If G4 was there, then it is a 3v2. So Pike turning that around. Really good play from Rich. He got a kill back on what it looked like at that G4. So he saved him pretty much. And yeah. So here, Kassadin isn't there. He isn't even coming. So we see the Alistar from also coming from base, and he walked mid, but he was second. He wasn't there first, like the Pipe was. So same thing happened with G4 actually. Here, Alistar is kind of saving the day for G2 or G4, whatever. For G2 actually. And then Pike trades back, which is very good. Yeah. Oh, I like this. Okay. Nothing happened. So when you're playing support, as we saw there, and you're playing Alistar, Pike, this kind of champions that like to roam, or the enemy support has a champion that likes to roam, and you have a good champion to counter that. I'm not talking about Janna. I'm talking about other melee supports or like another roam support, like in this case, Alistar against Pike. You want to do the same thing that I highlighted from the last game that I recommend you watching from Relic. He walked mid when he didn't have to go about yet. So every time that you base, you walk mid, like in a straight line, then you enter inside your jungle, like here at Raptors, or like here through this line. You do not walk all the way mid. That's not good. And then you kind of want to, like, we're going to pause because I really want to finish this point and then we can talk about this. So you basically will walk like here, and then you enter here or walk here. Oh, you don't see it. Oh my god. You cannot see my cursor. I don't know how to change that. Let me see if I can do something real quick. Well, you cannot see, but essentially you just walk in a straight line from it, and then you enter your jungle. You do not walk all the way to mid. You just walk from mid, and then you start like converging into the river, into mid, in the mid jungle river, this kind of thing. Looking if to the mid lane if there's something happening, whether it's jungle or mid laners going crazy or something, and then you just join the fight and make it a 3-4 a 3v2, a 2v1, like an outnumber situation in your favor, or you just go back bottom because you don't lose that much time by doing that, and you can just go back bottom. That's why we see movies so much. We see the movies here on the Pike. That's for roaming, and that's the things that you want to do with those kind of boots. So if you're getting movie that is just because you're playing support, that's wrong. You have to get them if you're looking to roam so much, okay? Don't get movies if you're not planning on just roaming. That's why you don't see movies on Janna. We don't see those. We don't see movies on Lulu, on this kind of champion. So keep an eye on that. And if you have been doing movies, you are doing it wrong. You shouldn't, because those are not roaming champions. Here we see Jankos recalling on a ward inside the enemy jungle. Pretty straightforward. I think that G4 is just gonna go for the kill if he can. Yeah, he keeps going. Maybe he thinks he can kill Perks. He actually is getting close to that. Yeah, G4, good job. He got 2 kills with the Kassadin. That stabilizes the matchup and even more. The fact that he gave up 1 kill, that matters, but in terms of laning, his lane is in a really good spot now because he got 2 kills, and the lane is kind of freezing towards him for the little that I can see here. So, yeah. Also, that kill can change the top matchup. the Urgot was winning hard in the early game. Maybe that's doubles for the Urgot, even more for the Urgot, the lane matchup up. So here we're seeing Talia ult bottom from G2. Really good. Main didn't really have any summoners to get out, so really good punish. Lane was even until that point. I like that Kieran was doing the Berserker Greaves. That's a really common start when you're starting Doran Ring, so that's pretty much the standard now. Doran Ring into Berserker Greaves. I think that's a really good laning purchase for Kaisa that really helps you get there. As Kaisa, you want to get there. Past laning phase, that's what I'm talking. If you get there, you get there, and then Kaisa just scales like crazy, and then you can just 1v9 the game basically. Kaisa is a 1v10 champion, as Uzi said in one stream, so it's really true. Like that champion is 1v10, so you're seeing a DP made from Rocky and Lion. I really like that when you can find the enemy jungle, when there's a chance of finding the enemy jungler. If they transition this into a dive, that's also fine. I don't like that they went in after Syndra had cleared the wave, but it's still so good that you always get the kill. Really good play and like macro and like the way they wanna approach the game from Ascension. We saw Pike earlier in the game mid. Now we're seeing a lot of people coming mid. We see Rocky here. So everyone's coming mid and they're shutting down perks, which I think is really good to do that against G2. The thing that I don't like is that how far behind Rocky is falling, because I think you're ignoring Wonder too much for too long, and that becomes a problem then. And that's a big problem. The fact that Aatrox is like ending his when you're roaming, you can roam like here, and that's fine. Help steal jungle. Then you go back, you push, then you go back here, and then you look for things again. But when you are gone for so long, you're just gonna lose so much CS by just doing the hover and going mid like here for the invade with the Olaf for a little bit. You do not lose CS, or you lose barely 1 or 2. But by completing that, and also say you lose like 2 3 waves. So now we see a 48 CS lead in favor of Wonder. We also see a level lead. Obviously, you're gonna be behind one level when you're leaving lane every time. He loses flash because he cannot match Wonder. Wonder is just straight up proxying there. And why he's proxying? Well, he knows how strong he is against the enemy top laner. He can do that. And proxying is actually really good because you deny access to CS and experience. You wanna deny experience more than anything. If you could deny experience instead of the gold or actual gold from the CS, you take that because experience is actually really important in this game. We previously saw the one shot in the Pike. Then again, Pike is a really special champion if he could not get the aftershot or get out with his mobility. So basically what happened, Talia combo, that's it. Talia combo with electrocute that deals a lot of damage, probably like 70% of everyone, or 60-50% on a tanky target, or maybe I'm exaggerating, maybe 40-50%. Still so much because the electrocute Talia deals a lot of damage for some reason. So really good pick on the Pike and then transition into the bot turret. Now we're seeing Lion facing Talia. Here, this is not a combo of Talia. She didn't get the shove into the rocks. He missed some of the Qs, so don't exaggerate. But Talia does deal a lot of damage. Keep that in mind. So, yeah, Perks is really far behind from the Kassadin, but not in CS, which is good. Now we're seeing with it and Janko's helping out Perks, which is good. We're seeing this. Sometimes games end up like this. Everyone ganking mid time to time. Like one team ganks mid and the other team ganks mid, and they're in time to contest the Drake. And really good TP for Wonder. He doesn't have to just dominate the lane every time. He can also help his team out. And this probably grants G2 the Infernal. And yeah, now Aatrox is gonna stabilize a bit in CS, but like let's be honest, you do not stabilize from 40 CS deficit. You probably stabilize just like 10 CS. So he's gonna be behind 30 instead of 40 CS or something in those lines. If Wonder doesn't go top right away, if he gets right away, like you just stabilize like 5 minions. So good luck with that. Yeah. Now we're seeing Wonder take the greedy route, walking here. You take the longer route if the game's totally even between the top laners, but you're taking this route because you know you're so much stronger than Rocky here. He even has the level advantage, And he's not going for the CS, he's just going straight up for the kill because he knows he's far stronger than Rocky. And yeah, even the fadeaway, like he knew like he got Rocky with the ulti. I think it was the corrupting part, what did it. That's extended for too long. That made enough time for the rest of Ascension to come. So yeah, I wonder. Yeah, they're trading 2 for 2. No, 1 for 1. So I thought it was a 2 for 2 for some reason, but it was going to be a 1 for 2 if anything. 2 for 1. So 2 for 1 if you're G2. What Wonder was trying was really smart, but the thing that happened, everyone else was collapsing. So you still have to look for those plays because you are wanting to abuse the fact that you're up levels, up CS, you're stronger, and you just want to win like that, and you just want to force, you want to ignore the minions for a little bit and things like this. But if you take too long to kill the target, then those things can happen where the enemy team comes and turns that around. So yeah, now Rocky got caught there and died. That will extend the CS lead on Urigat a little bit more. Perks also died, so this keeps happening. The game can then end up being this world where either Perks or Rocky, the both are really behind from just dying in terms of XP and what they're getting, things like this. Uh, it'll come down to who can die less and can keep killing the other member of the enemy team. So that's how it is sometimes. Perks is even in CS, which is impressive, but it's more on the Kassadin. That Kassadin, basically, when you look Kassadin, you're expecting to lose a little bit of CS early if it's a rough matchup, which I think this it's not the worst, but it's actually like most matchups are bad for Kassadin anyway. So um, yeah, that's pretty much what happens. Kassadin is just a little bit up on the Syndra. Um, Moroki is really behind from Wonder. Even if he's just 25 CS, at some point he was at 48, but now it's just 25 difference between top laners, which is still a lot because one wave is 6 to 7 million, so 25 is too much. It's almost like 4 waves. Um, yeah, we see the collapse coming from Ascension. They G2 kind of cornered themselves there, but they are now grouped, so now they can look for things again. Really nice ult from Wonder. He snipes Rocky. So Rocky seems like is the one that is still seeing on that interaction that I just mentioned. So basically, Perks, as long as Perks can remain alive and stop dying basically from the enemy plays that are happening on him, um, you have Rocky dying so much that, or not dying so much, but getting put behind many times, like with this denying waves or Sonic him out, proxying the wave, these kind of things that happen in the early game, that he's not a factor in the game basically for his team. So big wave top. I hope that someone goes there as soon as possible so that YouTube doesn't lose most of that wave because that wave okay, Perks is gonna catch a wave, and with that wave, he's gonna actually be more than even with Kassadin. He's gonna get ahead of the Kassadin because look at the wave that he's going to catch. He's probably gonna lose some minions here, but then there's this wave coming, and if there's a cannon, which most likely is in this wave, you're basically losing 1 to 0 minions because the cannon can tank most of the hits. So let's see how much CS we see in the middle lane here. And we see again, like 40 CS in the top lane. This happened mostly because when Atox was here mainly with Olaf, he extended the timing for too many waves that ended up on Rocky losing like 2 to 3 waves. And yes, a kill on Perks in a good dive, but that set him up for a really, really rough time against Wonder's Urgot. So now we see 140 against 133, which is really good for Perks. I can't say it's gonna stabilize that. Interesting that they're even in CS. Maybe Perks lost a few CS there, or basically we're seeing this, and this can be that Perks lost some ways to Hjarnan, and then Hjarnan got the lead of the CS lead basically that Perks would have had maybe, or same thing with Kassadin. Kassadin gave some waves to the main. That's why he was so far behind the CS. So sometimes what happens with CS and the way you're distributing your waves. Uh, the when you catch a big wave, that doesn't reflect on the numbers on those people, but it reflects on the other members of the team and things like this. Um, but yeah, I think that so far G2 has shown up has a better showing than the first day, but still some mistakes. You can see like in the early game we saw some kills going to Kassadin, and while one of those were some of those were overforced, like the one we saw from Rocky diving in mid, things like this. Sometimes I can see those things like working out and being good. When you extend those for too long, that's when it's bad. Like Rocky did. So, oh, he almost sniped him again. Wonders like Urgot is really good. Like he's throwing he's really like practice on this matchup. Like every time Aatrox is coming out of the revive, Wonder's ulti is already on the air. So as soon as the Aatrox is reviving, he's like getting hit by the Wonder's ulti. So it gives less reaction time, and that's really good to like have practice in a matchup that probably is going to be one of the common matchups or the most seen because these two champions are really insane right now, or one of the ones that are going to just get banned every time because they see you play like this and then they ban it every time from you if you're playing this well. I don't think Wonder has played the other side of the matchup. Maybe he's the one. He's thinking that, yeah, Urgot wins, but a little bit, but he wins. So he wants to be in the Urgot side of things, but maybe he isn't. If he just hasn't played the other champion, the Aatrox. But yeah, I hope that we in the future see that interaction more often, or the Aatrox like or the perspective from the agent because I think the only time that we got to see that was Licorice at the very first game of play. So yeah, yeah, I know. Here you can see like from the perspective of Rocky, but this is a very different game because basically what I'm trying to say from the perspective of the champion is the champion winning the matchup. Like I want to see like a Natures that is actually winning against the Urgot. If not, I'm just gonna think that Urgot is the better side of the matchup, but I don't think that's true. We are yet to see more Aatrox's like Licorice. I can see Urgot winning. So we're seeing a five-man group between mid and top from G2. This is really good to get vision. Wonder is transitioning. This helps G2 get the top tier because the one who's covering mid is the top laner Urgot, and Urgot can always walk back bottom when G2 already takes it, had already take the turn. So Wonder can go back bottom whenever he wants to catch the wave if he wants. He's ignoring the wave. He's going to lose all DCS. Well, he's going back bottom now. No, he's going to stay. So he's willing to sacrifice all the CS that you're seeing in the minimap to grant another turret to G2. So basically, Wonder traded like 2 to 3 waves. So he's trading that for 2 turrets, which is really good. Yeah, he's gonna catch the rest of the minions that are left after he goes back bottom, but I don't think there's gonna be much. So still up in CS, but yeah, there was some CS lost to the turret there. Quite a few actually. So now all G2 has to do is get better, really with a really good setup, and then they can play the rest, take the rest of the turrets that are left, which are the hardest to get, the inhibitor turrets. So yeah, AD Kaisa by the way, or yeah, we can still see a Banshee Bell and you call hybrid Kaisa to that, but yeah, with those 3 items, pretty much AD Kaisa. Now we're seeing Wonder bottom. I think Wonder against Kassadin. I think that silence is really interesting because Wonder has some armor that doesn't really do much against the Kassadin, and Kassadin has only the mercs, which aren't that bad because you know those can help you out with CC and stuff like this. We see Bane ganking for the Kassadin, so they were prepping this play. Ooh, that was close. Really good. That's one of the plays that they have available to them. But by doing that, they just stabilize a bit the side. They're not completely back into the game, but they kind of stabilize a little bit from that way. And those plays are always safe to do because people think that if you send too many people bot, the enemy team is going to burn immediately, but that's not what happens. Sometimes that happens because the team is already doing burn, and that's too late, you know. But it's never like that where, oh, you should bot, no, that's a free burn. You shouldn't do that, right? You should do that if you think that the enemy team isn't in a position that where they can do burn. So now they are because they caught Rich, the Pike with the Italia wall, and then fight happened, and they pick one by one, they kill everyone. Kirk's died again, funny, but yeah, Kirk's dying a lot this game, but that's the game. That's how it went. Whatever. Bucky like sacrificed like 4 waves for a kill on Perks, so yeah, they just wanted to kill Perks, I guess. And here we see Rich gets caught by Talia Wall. Well, Kaisa kinda Talia Wall didn't do much, honestly. I wasn't paying attention to that. So now we're seeing the fight. It's a 4v4, but I think the 4v4 like this, you always win because they're overdiving, and once you kill Perks, Perks already throw everything to the enemy team. So Perks deal the damage that he needed to deal, and in doing that, he kill most people there, or deal a lot of damage to most people there, while the other guys were free hitting because basically Ascension was ignoring them from hitting Perks. Okay, now switch mid, 2 lanes. Talia on the side lane. I think Talia on the side lane is good because she can always, once she has wall again, she can kind of like wall people off to the side and mid things like this. Or really, junglers in the side lane aren't that bad. In these scenarios where you have semi global or where you feel like you're more useless than the rest of the team flow group. So here is was more about defending the big wave, I think, for G2. So they have one member on the big wave, and when the big wave was coming to the incubator turret, G2 immediately rotated to defend the wave. And as you could see, the big wave got the turret really quickly, and the enemy team couldn't react to that because they couldn't defend it. So now they have another big wave again, and I hope that they stacked it. You can see that this wave and this wave are pretty close. You can see the wave behind. I'm pointing right now. You can see a wave behind on the minimap from the wave that we are seeing on the screen right now. So basically, if Perks didn't use Q, if he waited a little bit, he gets to stack those waves together. Here he can last hit. If he last hits, what's the benefit of that? It's pushing slower, yes, but then the other wave is closer to this wave. Sure, there's so many minions here that it doesn't matter if you last hit, this is going to push regardless because it's so fast. With just buffing the wave with someone else, that because Perks doesn't have burn, this wave is going to push all the time. So you can slow down the wave a little bit, but not throwing Q. That's just what I'm saying. So not throwing WQ. So but just last hitting, you give the wave behind this one to group with this wave, and then you have a much bigger wave. So here I like to see Heron or Perks go for the other wave and have one push this wave, because that way you have the waves to stack. You're grouping the waves. The waves are gonna stack regardless eventually, but as you can see, the wave is here in turret, but it's just one wave. Where you can have 2 waves stacked group. That's more pressure. Remember that it doesn't cost you much to do this. Like you can slow down with this wave, wait for the other one, have Perks or Kiernan go for the other wave, and the other push this wave, and then you group the 2 waves, and then you have 2 waves when hitting is turret. Here it doesn't matter. They're really far ahead. I understand that, but those little things are the ones that are gonna win you bigger games, where the games are much more closer. And here, not wave groups, but they got already they already got the truth because they're so far ahead to do this. But then again, they could do this better. That's the only thing I'm saying. So this was game 5. There's game 6 left at the tiebreaker, game 7. So see you guys in the next one. I already spoiled myself with the results, but I haven't seen the game, so okay, that was. I'll wait for Nexus to explode. If G2 wants to end, that is okay.